DNA, the double helix of DNA, forms a spiral staircase type structure. Double-stranded helical DNA is a very stable compound. They pull DNA out of fossils that are 100,000 years old. I'm thinking of the Neanderthal project, and they get it off of mammoths and things like that, things that have been extinct for tens of thousands to even 100,000 years old. DNA is a very stable compound. DNA is basically a straight, rigid structure. I want to use this as an example to communicate the structure of DNA. Circular DNA is fairly common in prokaryotic, i.e. bacterial cells, and circular DNA is a common tool used in molecular biology. Circular DNA has about 4,500 bases, so it's relatively long. If we look at this as an example of DNA, this is about a helix and a half. This is about a turn and a half on the spiral staircase. One turn is 10 bases, which means that if this is a rigid model of DNA, if you had a piece of tubing like this that was 100 feet long, you could turn it around and make it into a circle. So DNA is rigid, but it's not entirely rigid. I like the analogy of a zipper. A zipper collectively is very strong, probably as strong as the fabric it's attached to. But if you want to unzip them one at a time, you don't have problems. DNA is very strong and stable, but once it's melted, it's easy to go along and take it apart and look at it and take it apart and look at it. The RNA melts one spot on the DNA and then just goes along unzipping it and then zipping it behind it. So single-stranded DNA would not be something you would find in a cell. Single-stranded DNA would be like a bracelet with trinkets on it, the trinkets being the 4 bases. Single-stranded genetic material is RNA, which is ribonucleic acid instead of deoxyribonucleic acid. RNA is not very stable. It comes single-stranded often. It's not very stable by design. It has its job and then it needs to go away. So it's constantly being created, used as a template, and then destroyed. RNA will form a double strand with DNA, but perhaps more important is that it will form a double strand with itself.